Hello learners, welcome to session 2 of Unit 2, Cognitive Processes and Response Items. I am Unkaila Dasmane, your course instructor. In the previous session, we looked at the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy from the lowest or simplest to the most highest. In this session, we are looking at a framework for classroom assessment using Bloom's taxonomy, that's the cognitive domain. By the end of this session, you should be able to use an approach based on Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives in the cognitive domain in your classroom assessment. Using Bloom's taxonomy as framework for assessment, as a mathematics teacher, you should let your classroom test reflect what your students have had an opportunity to learn, so that you can assess both their learning and your teaching. You need an assessment framework based on the content that you teach and the process that you believe are necessary to demonstrate a mastery of that content. So the Bloom's classification system can be applied to both such a framework. You don't need to give your students a task where it's out of range. They don't even know anything about that. If not taught them, then give them an assessment that it means it will not be good. You cannot even assess your teaching. So an example of this is what was by the Castberg 2003. And that is an example how a teacher applied a framework to evaluate and revise a test that she developed to assess her student learning of linear and quadratic functions. So let's see how the teacher developed that. The first one is graphing lines. So graphing lines, and include axis, x and y intercept, table of values, domain range. You can also talk about algebraic forms of lines, and then also linear functions, graphing and interval notation, also systems of equations, solving algebraically and graphically, and setting up systems from word programs. And that's how it was done. Okay, so Bloom's classification system can be applied to build system framework based on the content that you teach and the process that you believe are necessary to demonstrate a mastery of that content for your student. So thank you very much for your time.